friends, and welcome to the Happy Hour Jamie Ivey podcast. I'm your host, Jamie, and I'm so excited that you're here. Welcome to the month of September. We made it. Every week on this show, I invite a girlfriend to join me and we chat about the big things in life, the little things in life, and everything in between. I want to thank Spice Islands for helping making this show happen. Guys, whether you're looking for flavor, adventure, or simply better tasting meals, fill your pantry with Spice Islands. Because by sun-drying many of their spices and de-stemming their chili peppers by hand, Spice Islands uses a craft approach to capture the volatile oil which gives flavor to each spice. And whether it be Saigon cinnamon, dill weed, bay leaves, garlic powder, cumin, or turmeric, they maintain a strict standard for each item to ensure consistency, quality, and flavor. Guys, visit spiceislands.com/happyhour for more spice facts and delicious recipes, and pick up Spice Island spices in the premium spice section of your local retailers. My husband was a tad bit excited when Spice Islands sent us a box, so thanks, guys. Guys, you're listening to episode number 157, and today my guest is Catherine Lowe. I first knew about Catherine, maybe like some of you, from her time on the TV show The Bachelor. It was there that we watched her and Sean fall in love and beat the odds of actually making it as a couple. Now, to this day, they are married and have a cutie pie little baby as well. Catherine's sister-in-law, Shay Scholl, who is Sean's sister, has been on the show before, so be sure and find those episodes to check out as well. That was the last time I watched The Bachelor, was when Catherine was on there. Then I started hearing about her from my friends Kat Armstrong and Jen Jett, who have both been on the show as well. And so finally, we made it official, and Catherine and I met and recorded the show this summer at our mutual friend Jen's house. Today on the show, Catherine shares stories of falling in love with Sean on TV. She talks about something that happened behind the scenes, which I was so intrigued by, and how her faith became real to her. That was just such a phenomenal part of her story, and some of the struggles that they encountered early in their relationship of being thrown straight into the spotlight. I mean, they met on national TV and then everything was public. Guys, I love the show with Catherine. I know you're going to love it as well. Find me over at Instagram and tell me what you loved about it. You can find me at Jamie Ivey. Guys, I have been teasing that I need to tell you something really exciting for a while, and I'm not trying to be mean. It's just that I can't say anything until they tell me I can say something, and they keep thinking I can say something, and then I can't say something. But let me tell you, you are going to want to know about this. It's something really fun with Noonday Collection, and they and us are finalizing all the details, but I can promise you that next week I will have more to tell you. I promise. Hold on, because you're going to want to know this. Also, we're still giving and praying for those affected by Hurricane Harvey. I posted several ways on Instagram and on my blog, jamieivey.com, where you can help. Even if you don't live here in Texas, we still need your help. We're just begging and pleading for you to do something with us. Donate, serve, give. Everything makes a difference, I promise you guys, because as we know and we say all the time, everything is better together. Guys, if you're coming to the Happy Hour Live, that's this weekend. Yay! We're accepting donations there. Otherwise, check my blog for other ways to give. Okay, friends. Here is my conversation with Catherine Lowe. Catherine, welcome to the Happy Hour.
Thank you.
We just met when you just walked in.
Yes.
We're at our mutual friend Jen's house. We have a live audience today. Hi, Jen. Are you going to clap for us?
Yes, one single clap.
Yes. We should do like more live audience interviews. I just feel like invite my friends over.
Yeah, it definitely feels different.
Yeah.
When you do.
Yeah. Okay. Catherine Lowe, welcome to the Happy Hour.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're here.
Me too.
You've been highly requested to come on the show.
Oh, that's sweet.
So
that's nice to know.
The people have been waiting, and so now we're going to give them what they're asking for.
Oh gosh, that's no pressure.
Okay, so your sister-in-law, Shay,
Yes.
has been on.
Yeah. I'm sure she's been on it. I'm surprised she hasn't been on the moon yet because she's been everywhere.
She's amazing.
I know.
And this show's going to be about you, but just for a minute.
I know. Hard act to follow. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, how did I get into this family that is perfect?
Okay, can I tell you about the family real quick? I think I told Shay this. Okay, the first time Shay was on, and I think you're going to tell me that you're not surprised by this. The first time that Shay was on, her dad wrote me a handwritten note thanking me for having her on and telling me that he's like, my son and my daughter and daughter-in-law have done a lot of interviews and you did an amazing job. He wrote that to me. I kept that note. I don't know this man. I've never met him, but it was one of the kindest acts that's ever been done to me.
He is a very sweet man. I get texts all the time. It doesn't surprise me because Jay sends me texts randomly. Just, could be a Tuesday at 2:00. Be like, I love you so much. I'm so glad that God blessed my son with you. I've been praying for you. I'm like, what is he doing right now?
He's not selling insurance. He's encouraging people.
No, No, he is a very sweet man who is just, he's a lover. And I'm glad that he's in my life. I mean, and he obviously blesses so many people and
random strangers, the happy hour.
I married Sean for his family.
You're like, I like you, but I met your family
Right.
and I'm in.
Yes, I married the family.
It makes a big difference.
Humongous difference. When people have the conversations like, oh, in-laws, blah, blah, blah. I can't relate to them one bit.
That's
because
amazing.
I'm like, I talked to his mom today, Sherry Lowe, who I call Sherry Lowe. And she has the best accent. She knows that I talk about her in her accent. But we talked today and we scheduled another play date on Saturday. So Sean and I see them probably weekly. Well, more than weekly because she comes over to help with Samuel every Tuesday. But we see them as often as we can because we're really close to them.
That's amazing.
I love it.
So what's amazing about all of this to me, and we're going to talk about this because you told me that we could in your thing.
Yes.
It's no surprise that people have probably know who you are from the 17th. Is that right?
17th. That's my favorite
Season?
number. So it's easy to remember.
It was your favorite number before then?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Well, what's funny, okay, so when I was in sixth grade, I played football. And I was always,
Tackle?
yes, I was always kind of boy crazy, but I played on a team with boys and I was number 9. My practice number was 9 and the guy I liked was 17. And so forever, when you're sixth grade, you start getting like obsessed with certain things and then they just become part of just every day.
Who you are, yeah.
My favorite real number is 917 because those were two matched together.
Because
So
that was your
stupid.
practice jersey and that was his jersey.
Yeah. And so 917 was always my favorite. And then just 17 to not be a crazy person, like whose number is 3 digits long. So I'm 17. And also Sean's mom's favorite number is 17. So, it's just. And
this episode is releasing in September of 17, which is 9/17. This was meant to be.
See, I told you 917. It keeps coming up. I'm like, thank you. Just
okay, so
those little winks at
17
me.
was your crush's football jersey.
Yes.
And then you were on the 17th season of The Bachelor.
Yes.
Did you know I'm going on to the 17th season, my favorite number?
I had no clue.
But when you found out it's the 17th season, did you think, oh, this is cool because it's my favorite number? Or it never?
It doesn't occur to me because I know it just always wants to be next to me.
17.
So I was like, cool.
It just happens.
It does.
That's hilarious. The things you don't know about someone. Did you know this, Jen, as her friend? See?
It is a random thing. That's
It's
just
random.
Like, yeah.
Okay, so 17th season of The Bachelor. And I'm sure that you have said this, but I have never actually heard. I would love to hear, how'd you sign up to be on The Bachelor?
Sure, yeah. That's a huge part of my story. I think it also tells a lot about me and just the funny things that happen in my life. So I never watched The Bachelor. I was never a Bachelor fan.
You never saw it before you went on it?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Of course you hear about
For
it.
sure. You can't
But it's a commitment.
Yeah.
So you have to commit 2 hours every week for however long the show
I
is
haven't
on.
watched it in forever because of that. It's such a commitment.
I know. And I'm like, oh, if you miss one, then it's 4 hours. It's just too much. That's why I haven't watched the season. I can't talk about it.
Every time it's like the most exciting rose ceremony ever.
Of course. Says Chris Harrison.
Yeah.
But I was living in Seattle, which is where I'm from, and I was working at Amazon. I had a great job. I was living near my family. I was dating someone, and my best friend, Krista, who is always a reoccurring, huge milestone partner in my life, she watched the show, and she saw Ashley Rosenbaum, now Rosenbaum, meet JP.
Right. I remember that one.
And so she was like, oh my gosh, I need you to meet your JP, and just was obsessing over this relationship. She's married and she knows I'm always up to do anything.
Yeah.
And she was always like the silent partner in our friendship. And I was always like the outgoing person. And she's like, I'm going to sign you up for the show. I'm like, don't do that. One, they usually drink and I'm not a drinker.
Uh-huh.
Number 2, they're always in bikinis and I don't wear bikinis. And number 3, why would I it's just so not me. And I'm dating a guy.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't care. What picture do you want? And I'm just like, you're just so crazy. And that was October of 2010, I think. And she did it one night just out of the sheer fun of Ashley and JP. And then 3 months later, I get a call at work and it's the Bachelor casting. And I just start giggling to myself.
You're like,
and I'm
oh, my
like,
friend.
she really did it.
Uh-huh.
And again, still dating that same guy, had a great life. I just had such a blast. And I was like, you know what? What's the harm of getting an email? Like, these people just want to send me more information. And I'm hugely flattered.
Yeah.
Like, I do not consider myself one of the caliber of those girls. And I just like, it's like, sure. I mean, an email doesn't mean I'm signing up for this. So they sent me an email, but The call I make right after that call was to the guy I was dating. And it was long distance and it was kind of casual, but when I'm in a relationship, I'm in a relationship. Even though we weren't called boyfriend and girlfriend, he was my boyfriend. And I called him and I was like, how stupid is that? I cannot believe that they called me. Krista did this, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, you should do it.
And you're like, oh, I thought you were my boyfriend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, are you trying to tell me something? I was like, that's not really the response I expected.
Yeah.
And he's like, why not? I thought you wanted to be famous. Backtrack. I'm a graphic designer who takes the bus to work in Seattle. I don't wash my hair or shower, really. I'm walking in my Birkenstocks to work. When in this scenario have I wanted to be famous? So he obviously just wanted to get rid of me.
Right.
And I was like, okay, then that was the easiest breakup ever.
And you're like, and you know what? I am doing this.
Yeah, but the casting is 9 months. And so between that time, I was dating other people. I'm like, they're probably not going to call me back. So I just lived my life as if it wasn't going to happen. But of course, every 2 weeks when they sent me a new thing that I needed to do to see if I would get on, I'd get like just giddy about it.
What did you have to do?
Oh my gosh, it was so much, like 25 pages of documents to sign. You have to do a video. They come in and fly and see that if you're good on camera. They ask you all these questions.
I mean, you're like...
No, then they fly you to LA. They take your blood. They take your pee.
They take your blood?
Well, they want to see if you have like
Oh yeah,
STDs,
that's true. But that's good. I
things.
like that. I never would have thought of that.
Oh yeah, it's bad. And then they, do a psych analysis on you. They do everything.
Because they want crazy people too.
Well, right. And so they're saying, are you here for the guy or are you good for TV?
Exactly.
And so I think probably, and I'm going to say this in the best intention, but I don't really care. I bet it was because I'm Filipino. Because I'm not, on paper, I am not Sean Lowe type. And number two, I'm not good for TV. Like I wasn't crazy and I wasn't an alcoholic and I wasn't like just
You're just
a
wearing your
character.
Birkenstocks walking to work.
So I'm like, why would The Bachelor want me? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful because I was like, well, why not? And so, throughout all that time, I was like, they're probably not going to pick me and thinking in the back of my head, I'm probably just going to go on with my life and there'd be a funny story to tell people that I was cast for, or I was potentially cast. But there's 10,000 entries every season.
Stop.
And I'm thinking, okay, obviously this is a God thing. He put me in front of Sean Lowe.
Entries.
Yeah. And then you watch the show to see if there are any guys that you're even potentially remotely attracted to. And so that was the first season I watched, was Emily's season. And I mean, because I wanted to be true to myself and say, well, why would I just go on just because it's TV?
Right.
I got to go on for the guy that I like.
So that was the first season you watched, was Emily's.
Yeah, and I think I watched in between. So they called me in January, I believe, and I think nothing started until March. So I watched some of Ben Flanick's season, just a couple episodes.
Is he the winemaker? Who's?
Yeah. He's the wine guy.
Got it.
And so I really just saw kind of what the girls were like and what I would be getting myself into potentially. And I wasn't super impressed until I saw Sean on Emily's season, and I was like, dang, this guy is not only super attractive and so my type. I like muscles and I like big boys. But he's blonde and blue-eyed, all-American, totally my type physically. But he has a great family. He's a guy with values, good guy. I never was into bad boys. And so Sean Lowe was like this shining example of exactly what I wanted. I'm like, this guy's not going to go for me at all. But if I'm going to do it, why not do it with a guy that I would actually be attracted to?
So you got to say,
yeah.
I'll do it if...
Well, you can say no. Of course.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
your free will. And so I was like, well, you guys all have to tell me if it's Sean Lowe or if it... And I call him Sean Lowe, even just to his face. He's Sean Lowe to
I
me.
call my husband Aaron Ivey all the time.
See? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
It
but
just
it's just
flows easily.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's just your name.
Aaron Ivey, Sean Lowe.
So yeah, there was rumors going around that it was going to be Ari, and I wasn't into... He's kind of a bad boy.
Is
I
that
wasn't
the race
into
car
Ari.
driver?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
And then there's other things that was Roberto. And I was like, yeah, I mean, they're just... It's Sean Lowe is my exact type. And so if it's not him,
I'm out.
And they knew that. And so they told me on camera, and they got this big reaction and whatever. But
so most of the time when the girls literally step out of the limo, is that the first time they know who it is?
I don't know.
In theory.
I mean, honestly, I don't know, but I had to know.
Yeah.
And I think they probably tell you.
Yeah.
Just so you know what to expect. But yeah, they told me, I think a month in advance, or maybe even just 2 weeks in advance. And then I put in my 2 weeks notice at Amazon.
And then you quit.
Yeah, but I was like really excited. I'm 26.
Hey,
I'm
I
a
say all
graphic
the
designer.
time.
I'm like, I'll get it back, whatever.
I'll say all the time, if I wasn't married, I would want to go on I told Jen this when we did our interview together. I would go on The Bachelor, and I'd want to make it up to like, I don't know, like top 10. And then, because you get to go travel everywhere. I mean, you went amazing places.
I did. But at the same time, and I wish I was on this is the only thing I'll say I wish I was on Juan Pablo season 4, is for the travel, because he's an international guy. So they wanted to really market the international thing. So they went to South Korea. I'm like, wait, that's wrong. Yeah. They went to like a ton of really cool places. Sean Lowe is like an all-American guy, so went to Montana, which was beautiful.
Which Montana is beautiful.
It is, but it's still, I could go to Montana. I could drive to Montana from Seattle. But yeah, we went to Thailand. We went to St. Croix. We went to Canada. I mean,
where was the elephant? Thailand?
That was Thailand. Okay. We were there for a pretty long time.
Okay, so you go on The Bachelor. You're doing this. This is going to be fun. This is going to be crazy, whatever. I would imagine at some point, obviously, you start to think, holy crap, like this isn't just fun. Like I actually really like this guy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously,
yes, of course
here we
it
are.
happens.
Years later.
I'm trying to like, my eyes are trying to figure out
Of course, that
when
totally
that was.
happened. And then we all know, obviously, we get to the end and he asks you to marry him. And then you go home.
Mm-hmm.
And all we see as like regular Americans watching this TV show is that you guys just go home. And then next week you're on After the Rose.
Yes.
In our eyes as viewers. But how many months are between there?
I think it's 3 or 4 months. So we ended November, I don't know, right before Thanksgiving. And then you are announced like March 7th or 10th or something. So that's 3 months.
So you go home.
3.5 months.
And you can't tell anybody.
I mean, there are people you trust. Obviously, I'm telling my family.
Right.
And I'm telling my best friends.
But literally.
Yeah. You go to work. I went back to work. They hired me back for the same position. And it was a twilight zone. I mean, I'm a very talkative person. I'm a very open book. And you're going to work and you can't talk about anything. And so you feel very just floating in this dream because you don't have a ring. You can't pretend like you're engaged. So you're like, did that even just happen?
Right.
You're going back to the same life, same, house that I lived in, same job, same route to work.
I could see how it would feel like, is this real?
It's very, very strange.
But yet you're talking to Sean.
Yes.
So you're having this long distance phone relationship, which sucks anyways.
But you have to like change their name in your phone and you can't tell anybody that you're
his name?
Milo.
Because
he's Milo, L-O, so M-Y-L-O.
Like
and his picture was Chris Hemsworth holding a baby. And it still is. It's still all that.
He's still Milo
He's still
in your
Milo,
phone.
and he still has Chris Hemsworth.
What was your name?
Gaia McSnugs. Gaia McSnugs.
I love it.
Yeah. So, we're silly people together, but at that time was a very confusing time for me because my boss's boss, who I loved this man. He was such a genius. He was just a really nice guy, but you're walking through the hallways of work and he's like, hey, good job last night. And number one, that episode was me kissing Sean. And I was like, this is so awkward. Like, you're telling me that you saw my first kiss with my now fiance, but you don't know it. So it's just this weird thing.
We all saw it. That's so weird.
Yeah. But then you don't know because you're in this weird alternate reality.
For sure.
That people are watching you develop feelings for your fiance. Like
and they're also watching the whole thing.
Yeah, they're watching him develop feelings.
Okay, so what was like that for you? What was that like for you? Did you watch it?
I did. I watched every week.
With who?
My mom or my friends or
you
whatever.
You weren't having like a bachelor party at your house?
I'm not like that anyways. I mean, I definitely had a couple episodes where I knew like the women tell all. I was like, okay, I'm going to be with my girlfriends and we'll talk about the girls and I'll tell them insider information.
Yeah.
But mostly I was just with my mom and my family. And I mean, that's just who I am naturally.
Right.
I'm not going to just make a big deal out of it. But I didn't have a hard time with it.
You didn't?
I think there was only one episode where I was like, okay, this hurts my heart. But the other ones I was like, these are really cool memories. I loved the girls, most of them. And I was like, this is a fun kind of scrapbook into what I just went through and having other people see how crazy it was so that I wasn't just thinking about it in my, my own head. So it really just came to light and about my life in the last couple months.
Did you guys talk after each episode?
Yeah, usually we did. And he was probably very like, okay, I don't know how she's going to feel because I made out with blah, 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 blah. But what's really funny is Leslie Murphy, who's one of my close friends, she was my best friend in the house. And even during her episodes of like her making a record of making out with Sean, and she was still one of my bridesmaids. I mean, you develop these relationships with the girls way more and way faster than you do with the guy because you see them all the time and you have sleepovers with them and you talk about all these things all day. And you see Sean, I saw Sean probably the equivalent of like 48 hours.
Through the whole
time. And so these girls, you spend a ton of time with them. Yeah. Sleep in the same bed with them. And so you just see, watching this back, you see, okay, well, now I see why they weren't talking to them. And you see the back end of everything. Yeah. And you just get to watch, you and the guy, me and Sean develop this cool relationship.
I'm only going to refer to him as Milo from here on out. Okay, so you get engaged, you go home, you live this weird life of like, did this happen? What's going on here? And then you guys get to be together, like in public. You get to be...
Kind of.
Okay, why?
Well, he was on Dancing with the Stars.
Holy crap, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so this was, and Sean knows how crazy hurtful this was.
That.
Emotional roller coaster. So you're on this high.
How soon after it's announced, after the final rose, did he go on Dance with the Stars?
Okay, so he was already living in LA, training or practicing.
So he was already going to be on it. That was out.
Right. But when he described it to me, it was like, 3 hours a day of training or dancing, and then I'd get to be with you. And so I planned to go to LA because that's where he was going to be. And so I moved. I had all my stuff packed. I was in a hotel room right after the final rose. So that airs live. Uh-huh. And then right after that show, you fly to New York to do the morning.
Oh, all the stuff.
All the Good Morning America, all that stuff. And you're announced as a couple. But what I didn't know, and this really rubbed me the wrong way, and it did not set up my relationship for the dance partner very well because her name's Peta, and she just got married. Awesome. And she just had a baby. But the first interview I ever had on Good Morning America as the couple was also sitting next to Peta.
You didn't know that was going to happen?
No. And I was livid.
So it was like the three of y'all.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. I was on a high. Like, yay, I can finally hold Sean's hand and talk about everything. But yet the partnering story was he was on Dance with the Stars. So I was really rubbed the wrong way, and it made me feel super unspecial. And again, in the shadows. Like, I don't care about being in the spotlight. I've never cared about that. But this is my man, and I've been waiting for him. I had to watch all this stuff. Then I have to watch you again with some girl once you're mine. It's not fair. It's just not something that any girl wants to go through.
So this is how you and Sean started, with this dress.
Yes. And I just remember like feeling just heated and like pretending. I think most girls can do it. If we watch
you on Good Morning America, can we tell that you're a little, or did you just handle it well?
I mean, I think I can fake it very well. And I think most girls, when you're getting a fight with your guy and you come to a party and you're like, hey, you have to do that. I mean, you don't let it affect you unless you want it to affect you. But you just try and play put a pretty face on. Just like, I'm sure Melania, you've seen like those pictures where her face is like totally ready, but she doesn't like hug Donald or something. There's some memes going around where she like just does not want to talk to him. It was kind of like that. Like, Sean, don't touch me right now. I am very upset.
But I'm so pretty. So happy to be here.
Yeah. Thank you for having us. Like, you just can fake it. And that's just, I think it's a girl thing.
Okay, so this is how you started. And then y'all are in LA and he's doing Dancing with the Stars.
Oh my gosh.
How did your relationship... You have a very healthy, beautiful relationship now. How did it stick?
With a lot of work, a lot of problems, because it's twofold. You are engaged, which is a very serious thing, to somebody that you just got their phone number. Okay, you don't get your phone number until a ring is on your finger. It's a very bizarre, backward thing. But you're trying to get to know this person, even though you've committed something to them.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a ring on your finger and you're like, hey, what do you like to eat for breakfast every morning? Like, you learn these weird things. And so I gave up my job. I left my family to move to LA so I could be with him. Yet he's working at 10 hours a day, dancing with an attractive naked woman pretty much every day, and you have to support it. And it is a very hard thing to do when you have nothing to do all day except try to be pretty for the next show. Like, it's the most opposite thing that I've ever experienced.
It like wasn't even who you were
at all.
So it's not like you came into this
like,
former
that's fun.
Miss
I'm gonna
Washington.
go shopping all day and like go get makeup. It's a very weird thing. And so I had to figure out how to stay with this man, because when Sean and I said yes to being fiancés, we were for real about it. And I was thinking, well, this isn't a relationship.
Yeah.
I'm alone all day in Hollywood.
So are you saying these things to him?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Like,
so you guys are working this
right,
out.
but he's still a boy. He's still a guy.
Yeah.
Excuse me. He's a guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't get it. I don't understand why.
I love you.
Yeah, I don't
I'm just
know why.
going to work.
Yeah, I'm just going to work. But I'm like, I have to clap for you while you touch her body like that? Like, what the heck?
Right.
And smile about it on camera?
And you guys have been open about this. He wasn't touching you in all kinds of different places. So then
I was like, wait. So I have to be respectful, but you, and like, I know there was nothing
for
there.
sure, 100%.
But come on.
Yeah, it's hard.
And people get together on that show all the time.
Yes.
Because it's a very sensual thing. And to me, I like to dance, and I consider it a completely sensual thing when it's that type of dance. And acting as well. You have to really get into that character. But Sean is a very different, he's just a guy, he's a dude.
He was just doing his thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't even know this. How far did he go in that?
He got up to 6th, which is, so there's 12 to start, there's 6, but that was like 3 months.
Oh, okay.
So it's twice a week that you're watching them dance or be up there together, touching each other on screen. And you have to watch it. And his parents, of course, they came up every week. They came from Dallas to LA every week. And I just confessed all of it to his mom. And I was like, is this hurting my feelings? And I don't like it. And I cried to her so often. And, no one can really relate to this situation because it's not the norm. So bizarre. Yeah. You already watched him do all these things with the girls. I passed that test. I was like, cool, I'm good. As long as we're together at the end, it's fine. Yeah. But then I got to do it when you're holding my hand. And that's not cool. Yeah. So I was in a very bad, probably depressed. I bet I would say I was depressed.
Okay, so you guys worked through that.
Yes, through many fights.
He got off of the show.
Yes, and then
Were you so happy when he got eliminated?
It was perfect. I know. I'm like, please let it be this week. But it happened to be the week that he got sent home was for a dance, which like made me the most mad. Was she was wearing a wedding dress and he was wearing a tux, and they were supposed to be getting married on the thing. And all over the place, there were these tabloid magazines saying they were cheating together, And so I'm like, oh, good job. Choose a dance where you guys get married. This is really fun. Like, I'm going to clap so hard for you.
Are you saying those things to him?
Me off. Yes. Oh, and it was right before a red carpet event. And I will show you the pictures. I am a great faker. I will show you the pictures on the way to this event where we had to do interviews, all these things. He was like, oh, yeah. I was like, well, what? I liked to pair my outfits to what they were wearing just because I was like, what else am I doing with my life? Exactly. I want to be fun and have fun. And they were like, oh, well, he's like, I'm wearing a tux and she's wearing a wedding dress.
He told you on the way to the event in the car?
Oh, my gosh. You could feel the car getting hotter. Like you knew even he could probably feel the heat coming off of my face. I was so pissed. Didn't speak to him the whole time. And it was a
And then y'all got out
event.
and smiled and took pictures together?
Oh, and I felt like I was going to vomit. The whole time I felt like I was going to puke. 100% I'm going to puke. And then I had to go to their fittings. And these girls were like, oh, you can't look at her wedding dress and like all this stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Which for dancers, that's normal. And I get it. And I'm like, hey, you know what? But I'm a normal girl. I'm not in this world.
Right.
So I have to watch this. So anyways, the day he gets sent home, I was like, thank you, Jesus. I can't handle this anymore. I am in the freaking ditch.
Did they do the wedding dance?
They did it.
Okay, and that's what he got sent home with.
Yeah. I was like, I told my mother-in-law, you got to hold my hand through this because it was just rough. You can't watch someone else that you're, you're spending more time with her than she's spending time with you. So
y'all made it through that in LA.
Yes.
And then he came back to Dallas?
No, we lived in LA for a while.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so we lived in LA. He had to be at the finale, and then we just stayed there to see if there was anything there just for us to do. Because, we're in the spotlight. We're like, hey, let's take advantage of opportunities if we can. But the day he got sent home, I think that night after he had rest, because he was so just spent from dancing. I mean, he was getting skinny because he was
and you're like,
doing
I like
cardio.
a big boy. Come on.
Yeah. But that night we binge watched Breaking Bad and the things that we are supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's just who we are, is we're eating Thai food at 2 a.m. and watching Breaking Bad till 4.
Yeah. And you got back. You felt like, here we
Oh
are.
my
We're
gosh.
back to where we're supposed to
It was
be.
perfect. Like the day after, it was like, okay, this is where we're supposed to be. But we're starting from day one again.
Yeah.
And we had never started from day one because we never had a day one.
Right.
So we're like, hey, let's go on a date.
Let's actually be boyfriend and girlfriend
Yeah,
in
but
like a
that's-
real life.
That's 6 months, 7 months into an engagement.
Uh-huh.
You finally go on a first date. Like, it's so weird.
Okay, guys, I know you're loving this show with Catherine, but I want to thank our sponsors because they make the happy hour happen. I want to thank Wink for making this show happen today. Guys, you know, when you have a great glass of wine, it enhances the moment. And Wink understands this and offers exceptional wines from around the world to give you more of those moments. Just go to TryWink, and that is TRYWINC.com, to take a brief palate profile quiz, and Wink will recommend distinct and interesting wines to be shipped directly to your door every month. Here's the best part, guys. None of your time is wasted guessing what you might like, because, you know, you go to the store and you just pick a wine bottle by the cover, right? Maybe I do that. But Wink bases the wines that they send on your taste preferences. They're even going to introduce you to new, rare, and custom wines that are not available anywhere else and tell you the story behind each one. For example, we just got our shipment of wine, and one of the things they sent us was a 2013 Porter and Plot Syrah. And they told us when they sent us this about this particular wine that spent 2 years in oak cask, which is what gives it a little bit more complexity. And we loved it. We had it the other night with dinner. And Wink chose that for us, and we would have never known about that wine. So with Wink, you can join for free, you can skip any month, and you can cancel anytime. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee, so you never pay for a bottle that you don't like. Right now, guys, Wink is offering listeners $20 off your first order when you go to trywink.com/happy. They're even going to cover the cost of shipping for you guys. That's TryWink. I'm going to spell it for you. It's TRY, and then Wink is WINC.com/happy to get $20 off your first order now, plus complimentary shipping. TryWink.com/happy. Okay, guys, I also want to thank Away for sponsoring the happy hour today. Away offers high quality luggage that is designed to be resilient, resourceful, and essential to the way that you travel. Away luggage is available in a variety of colors and 4 sizes, including carry-on sizes that are compliant with all major U.S. airlines. The Away suitcase is lightweight and made with premium German polycarbonate that's unrivaled in strength and impact resistance. Not to mention, you guys, it features a TSA-approved combination lock, 4 360-degree spinner wheels, and a patent-pending compression system to help overpackers. I'm raising my hand on that one. Better yet, guys, both sizes of the carry-on are able to charge anything that's powered by a USB cord. A single charge will power your iPhone 5 times. Did you guys hear what I just said? The carry-on bag can charge your iPhone. Guys, I have carry-on from Away, and I have traveled with it a couple times on my last trips, and I love it. Not only can I pack everything that I bring with me, I can pack everything I bring home with me, and I never have a dead phone in an airport. It is a game changer for traveling. Guys, you can try out Away for 100 days, vibe with it, travel with it, Instagram it, and if at any point you decide it's not for you, return it for a full refund. Shipping is free within the lower 48 states, and thanks to Away's lifetime warranty, if anything breaks, they'll fix it, so you've got nothing to lose. Guys, for $20 off a suitcase, visit awaytravel.com/happy hour and use the promo code happy hour during checkout. That's awaytravel.com/happy hour, promo code happy hour for $20 off your Away suitcase. All right, guys, thanks to Wink and Away, and now we are back to the show with Catherine. Okay, so I feel like you guys hit a lot of hard stuff at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm sure going into your marriage, there is a part where you're probably like, okay, we have actually survived a lot.
Oh, yeah.
If I can survive the wedding dance, I can survive a lot.
For sure.
Okay, so I want to know about this, though, because I don't know about your faith journey.
Yeah.
And so what does that look like going into The Bachelor, coming off the show, dating, marriage? What has that been like for you?
It's been just as roller coastery. I mean, now I'm on the high, and I will stay on that high. But I started out, my mom's Catholic. Filipinos are always Catholic. And my dad, white guys aren't always Buddhist, but he was Buddhist. He was from Georgia, and he just became a Buddhist. And I grew up in a very confused household.
They were both practicing Catholic Buddhist.
My mom was always practicing Catholic. My dad started out Buddhist, then he was like Unitarian.
Okay.
And so he was trying to discover his faith, but it was just confusing as a child. But I went to church camps and I went to like Young Life.
Yeah,
and I did all those things because I love nice people.
Yeah.
And so I was always in the good crowd. And for some reason, it didn't resonate with me exactly why they were so nice until later on in life. But when I saw Sean Lowe on his season, I saw this light, which now I know is Jesus. I mean, I knew it because he just was so, in my wedding vows, I said, you were a light to my bug. I had to find you. And he's obviously exuding this light that I didn't know where it was coming from. The same light that you had
seen from all of those people in Young Life. And
yes,
you're like, I know this.
Yeah, I'm like, this is really cool and it just attracts me. And so I knew he was a Christian. I knew he picked a Christian girl. And so on the show, you see all these Christian girls and you're like, oh, he's not going to pick me. You know, just
because you didn't like put yourself up as, okay.
No, because I wasn't. I didn't.
Gotcha.
I didn't know God. I knew that God existed, but I didn't know.
You weren't following Jesus.
Right. Yeah. I didn't understand any of that. And so at 26, I'm seeing all these girls choose, instead of like going to the pool, they're doing Bible study. And I'm like,
on the show?
Interesting. Yeah. Like behind the scenes, girls would just, do a Bible study. Well, no. Yeah. I mean, that'd be cool because, Sean is a wholesome guy. And so they cast wholesome girls.
Yeah.
And one of the days I was looking at Leslie Hughes, who was on the show too, and she opened her Bible at breakfast or something. And I mean, obviously I know what a Bible is, but I was like, hey, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, just looking at my Bible. And I'm like, okay. And I don't know how we got to this part of the conversation. Really nice girl. We weren't close though, but she said something about the back part of the Bible because I was super daunted. It's a huge book. There's tiny print. Right. You're like, what do you do? And on the back, or not on the back, but in the back part, it says like, for when times you are, lonely or sad or whatever, go to these passages. And when she told me that, I was like, cool, I know how I feel. So then it makes it easier to navigate through this. If I know how I feel, what passages should be speaking to me? Like horoscopes. Right. It's like, oh, today you're supposed to blah, 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 whatever. I don't believe in horoscopes. But, it just gives you a little bit more of a focus and just guides your day. And so she was like, oh, take it. Look at it today and just, go ahead. Yeah. I was like, cool. And so I was like, cool. These are, for times I'm happy. I get to read this. And it really just sparked something in me. And I didn't really think about it until the day before Sean proposed. And I wasn't convinced that he would pick me until he picked me. Really? Just because I didn't want to be set up for failure. Yeah. I didn't want to be disappointed. And I also knew that if he didn't pick me, one, it was for a reason. And two, I'd go back to an amazing life. Yeah. So it wasn't going to, break my heart. Obviously, I was in love with him, but, life goes on. Yeah. But the day before, and people don't know this because they didn't show this on the screen, and I've told this in every one of my testimonies because it shows Sean's faith so strongly. And when people say they're Christian, sometimes they say it and they don't mean it or whatever. It's a different whatever. I don't know. But Sean was super true to what he was saying and what he wasn't saying, and he was just showing. But it was like 11:30 at night in Thailand. It was the night before the potential proposal. And I was just getting ready. I was enjoying this amazing place that I was in. And I was taking a shower and I had my white strips in. I'm like, tomorrow's going to be a big day. I got to have some white teeth. And I hear a knock at the door, and it's kind of like an open shower, and like this suite is really big. And so I hear it, and I'm like, okay, I got to get out of the shower. And so I get out of the shower, and it's a producer guy, and he walks in. And you get really close with everybody that works there. And so it was just like, okay, I'm in a towel, my hair's wet, and I don't have makeup on. What's up? And I have my white strips on. He's like, so what are you doing? I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like midnight. What? And he's like, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm just getting ready for tomorrow. He said, are those white strips? I said, yeah. He goes, how long do you have those left in? Like, how long do you have left for them? I said, I don't know, like 20 minutes. And he's like, can you take them out? And I knew that when he said that, Sean was coming. Just because it's like, who cares what I'm doing? Okay. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like I couldn't look worse right now. And so I take the white strips out, and I'm in my towel, and I'm super taken aback, but he walks in.
You're in your towel with your hair wet.
Oh yeah, no makeup on, nothing. But you're tan all the time now at this point. So I'm like, okay, at least I have that. Yeah. But he walks in and he was on a mission. He like barely looked at me. He was just very intent on getting this point across. I was like, this is really weird. He goes, I don't have much time because the producers aren't going to give me much time because they're supposed to document everything, but I have to tell you these things. And so he proceeds to tell me, okay, well, I'm a, conservative Republican, fiscally and conservative, whatever, socially and whatever. And I'm like, this is what you're telling me right now?
Yeah.
Like midnight before the potential proposal that you're conservative? Like, duh, you're from Texas. Yeah. Like, what is,
Dallas.
like, why, that's not surprising to me.
No brainer.
Then it was like, I'm not gonna move in with my fiance until we're married. And I was like, okay. Like, you know what you do in the fantasy suite and what you don't do in the fantasy suite.
Yeah.
And at that point, I should have known this guy is for real Christian and he abides by the Christian law. And
because of what didn't happen.
Right,
yeah.
exactly. And so, but then once he started saying this, I was like, whoa, he's for real serious. So I'm not moving in and I'm not having sex until marriage. And again, you meet all these Christians that, obviously don't do that they don't follow exactly, don't have sex until marriage, especially coming from Seattle, super liberal.
Right.
And I was like, wait, what? Like, wait, what? And I was super confused as to why at 11th hour you're telling me these things, why it didn't come up.
That had never come up before.
Never. But I think he was also scared to talk to me about, directly about faith, because if I said I'm not Christian, he might have been like, bye. Just because he knows we should be equally yoked.
Right.
But he didn't want to hear it. So I think he was just, praying and making sure that God, would continue to put me in his life if that was really where I was supposed to be. And the last thing he said was, I will not settle for anything less than a Christ-centered home. And I was like,
did you even know what that meant? Did that seem weird?
It didn't seem weird. I had a piece about it, but I was also kind of angry with him. I had a piece about it because I knew he's Christian.
Yeah.
And
that wasn't a surprise.
Right. It wasn't a surprise. And also, if I had been there that long, I already knew in my heart that's where I was going to be. Like, I knew that's what he would have challenged me to be.
Right.
And so I was just like, okay. He was talking at me for a good 20 minutes about these things that are non-negotiables that you should have told me day 2. Like, hey, if you're not going to be here and you can't do this, then bye. Which is the great thing about The Bachelor, because you get all those conversations, those really serious conversations. Oh, you don't want a family? Bye.
Yeah.
Like, sorry. That usually you find that out 9 months into the relationship. Nope, it's day 2.
So 20 minutes of talking to you, telling you all these things in your towel, your hair wet.
Yes.
The 11th hour. Did you think, what?
Yeah, I was like, I got really pissed, honestly, because I was like, you're telling me this 11th hour.
You're pissed at him like you're telling him this? Or
no,
you're thinking
because he literally just left. He was like, da-da-da, la 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 la, bye. I was like, oh my gosh. I bet he was just doing it. Hey, you know what? Tomorrow, if you're not there, I get it.
I get it. I gave you.
Because I wanted to give it to you
the
first.
chance.
Yeah. I didn't want to be another person that said, did something that weren't
what are you
completely.
Thinking? I mean, besides being mad, like 11th hour, what the heck?
11th hour, that's all I did. I was talking about that. One of the girl, she's called a handler at that point, a girl that helps you get to what you need, takes you where you need to be for filming, all these things, preps you for the day. She was in the room next to me and I was like, come here, I need to talk to you. He did this and I was just ranting. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he told me this and he didn't tell me this before and what's going on? And all these I had peace about everything right before you came in and now you're trying to ruffle my feathers and trying to tell me. I mean, it was great. He needed to do that for himself. I already knew that. I was going to take you. I loved your heart. Who cares if the toilet seat is up?
Yeah.
When these are big things, but I knew your heart and I knew how good you were. I knew that he had known everyone's name on the crew and that he's treated them respectfully. That's hot. That's something that I want for my husband. I will do whatever you are leading me to do because I trust your values. I trust how you treat people and I like that. And let's do this. Like, I was cool about it all. He could have told me, I mean, obviously you can't tell me anything. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll still marry you. But it just frustrated me because maybe he didn't trust that I wasn't going to do it.
Bow out after.
Yeah. So
what did that do? So you go to bed and you're like, okay, I'm cool.
Yeah.
And then what happened after you? I know you say yes, all those things, but you still have this, like him saying,
I'm not, right. You have to be a Christian to be my wife.
What does that do for you?
Well, we obviously get engaged and I'm sitting on that and I'm like, I don't know where to start. But once I get home, my girlfriend, Krista, she picks me up from the airport. My mom did not pick me up from the airport. My Krista, she picked me up and I was like, it was probably 11 o'clock at night because you come from Thailand and, it's this long itinerary. But I said, we got to go to church. And she's like, okay.
Is she a Christian?
She grew up in a Christian home, but it was very liberal and just, went to church, but didn't really understand the relationship. And she's like, cool, let's do it. And so for the next couple months, when Sean and I were in secret, Krista and I went to church. We went to studies. We asked the pastor all the questions we had. There was one funny one where you have to be very discreet because people are watching you on the show, but they don't know if you end up with them. So the pastor I was talking to was a young guy, and I was like trying to skirt around that I had won, I guess. And I was like, so if you are engaged, just had to just say this very, it was just super weird, but I had to be very direct. And one question was just really funny to me. I said something like, well, lust, I talked about lust and, what does that mean exactly? And he said, well, you can't lust when you're married. And I was like, I can't be attracted to my husband and I can't have sexual thoughts about him when I'm married to him. And I was getting really upset. And I'm like, that sounds so stupid.
You're like,
why would I get married?
Yeah,
I just got really overwhelmed. And in that second, he's like, no, it's just not considered lust when you're married. I was like, oh,
okay, now I'm in.
Oh my gosh, because I could not do that.
Right.
Just procreate this robot. So anyways.
So then that started your journey.
Yeah.
And then were you sharing this with Sean? I mean,
yeah. I think I texted him during a Bible study or just a study that we had learned at the church that we were at. And in the middle of that, I texted him a verse or something. And I screenshotted what his response, which was that it was the most amazing, beautiful thing I've ever heard you say or seen you write or whatever, something that you've told me. And I was like, wow, I get to connect and be closer to Sean, even though it's through a text. I can't speak because we're in a Bible study, but I communicated to him that I'm going on this path that he really challenged me to be on. And he was just really attracted to it. And I really like good guys. Yeah. And that was total good guy moment. Yeah. Thank you for encouraging me because this is hard. I'm 26 and I'm trying to figure out my life and this new relationship with somebody that I've never seen. It's a very interesting thing.
So when do you feel like that faith became real for you?
It was in May of the year that we were open because we were in Dancing with the Stars and we were in LA. And he just filled me one night and I was like, wow, okay, I get it now. I'm there. And so I was really coming at my faith for reason or with reason. Oh, okay, practically this, blah, 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 trying to figure this out because I'm an adult. You don't just change your entire perspective without being for real about it. Yeah. And I wanted to be for real about it. And I wanted to get all my questions answered. And then it just was like, okay, I'm going to let go. And it just happened. And from there, it was really hard because, again, we're in LA. I don't have a community. We were going to church. We were going to a Mosaic, which is a really cool church in LA. But I wasn't being fed as much as and I didn't know where to go from here. Yeah. Okay, you get me a Bible. What do I do with this?
Yeah, yeah.
So it really came to be something very strong in my life and very just not routine, but it was bigger when I came to Dallas and I met his friends and I became part of the church and now it's amazing.
Where do y'all go to church here?
We go to Fellowship.
Okay.
And I sing there sometimes and I've become friends with the most amazing Christian women who I wouldn't have if I never moved here. And so I have a great community of girls who I trust, who they're the real thing. And it's nice to not be around who you thought Christians were. Because in Seattle, when I thought about Christians, I thought about the guys holding the signs downtown saying abortion is bad and fire and hell. And you're like, what the heck is going on? I don't like this. Yeah. And so seeing the complete opposite and God's love and the light that I saw in Sean and his family, it really gave me the best perspective. And just, I knew this is where I was supposed to be. And it's a really good feeling to feel so secure and fulfilled and grateful and blessed when you see just your life turning out like this.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So Seattle to LA, Seattle to lots of places, to LA, to Texas. Do you feel like a Texas girl? We'll take you.
I mean, I have a license that says Texas on it. It freaks me out every time I look at it. But I think after living here, it took me a long time to actually feel like somebody that was from here, because I was like, no, I'm Seattle. I'm so Seattle. This is the opposite of Seattle. But the people here, just going back to these amazing people that I get to be friends with and I get to have community with, I would like to think that now I'm part of that, of the Texas community. Again, I can't say I'm a Texas person.
We welcome you to Texas.
I'm still a Seattle.
Yes, yes. Okay, so you go from walking to work in your Birkenstocks to being famous. How has that been?
Well, with Sean by my side and the fact that fame was based on who I really was. You know, they see you on a reality show, it's you. And so going out on the streets, not wearing makeup or, not having washed your hair, it's very refreshing and very empowering to just be the exact same person. Because you don't have to do anything that if an actor or an actress, when you see them on the red carpet, that's not what they look like every day. So I'm sure they feel some sort of pressure, younger actresses, to look like that because that's what you expect. Or people who are on a reality show or people who are on a show who always look done up, I'm sure they have some type of pressure. Yeah. But I knew, for one, being on the show, I wasn't going to be anybody different than who I was because I would want Sean to know exactly.
The real you.
Yeah. And so I was really not wearing makeup and not doing all these things for my relationship with Sean because I'm not going to fake it. I'm not going to say, hey, I do my hair every day, and then you come home and I'm a completely different person. That would suck. Yeah. I'm sorry, Sean, I tricked you. Yeah. And if he didn't want me, cool. Yeah. Like, I'm fine with that. But at least I was being myself, and he wasn't picking me for some other reason. The pictures or the cameras just happened to pick that up, that I was trying to be real. And so now I just get to be real. And it's really, really cool. Sometimes it sucks because you're like, dang it, I should have tried harder. And I was like, why didn't I wash my hair that day? Or why didn't I even brush it? But for the most part, it's kind of silly. You just look at the magazines and you're like, what is that?
That's dumb.
And also when you're on camera or you're on TV, it's kind of, I would equate it to watching a home movie, I guess. Like if you're on a show, it doesn't really register with you how many people were watching
it with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but your home movies get more views than mine.
And well, I think that keeps you grounded and that keeps you in a place where you're not like, well, I'm on this. Yeah. I've been on this. And I mean, sometimes that comes out because you're like, dang, I met this person? Like, that's freaking cool. But I usually get more starstruck by, I saw Giovanni Ribisi in New York a couple weeks ago, and I'm obsessed with him. I have a huge crush on him.
I don't even know who that is.
He's an actor.
Okay.
He was, this is how you would know him. He was Phoebe's friend, or Phoebe's brother on Friends.
Okay, got it.
Oh my gosh, I have the massive crush on him. But I walked past him, and I care more about him than I do, I don't know who I met. That's a big deal. But just like, I like those underground people.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, if you see yourself on TV, it's kind of like, oh, well, we're always on our robots and you see people projected on these things and you just don't think about it on any bigger scale than, oh, cool, there's a magazine. It's like a picture book that I put on the, yeah. When you're on the cover, that's different. That's super weird. Yeah. But inside, it's cool.
Yeah. From what I see from you and Sean, just from what you put out on your social media channels, which is you put whatever you want, we don't see your whole life. It seems like you guys love to be together.
Oh, yeah.
You love to just like you, Sean, and Samuel, your little baby boy who's so cute. And just chill at home and be like just at home, like you said, watching TV. Is that your dream? Is that your that's what we want to do?
Well, I think that when Sean and I were on our first date and it was in Canada, I was the last first date on the show, which is like, crap, he doesn't like me. But it was like, it was a perfect way a normal relationship would go, where you're friends, you flirt in public, and then you kind of see a little bit more of them. You do a little kiss, whatever, and then you start to talk about stuff that was really serious. So I went on a normal track, but on our first date, after going on a glacier and like being in this ice castle, having this ice castle made for you in the fire, whatever. Right after filming stopped, it was like, gosh, I really wish we could just go watch a movie together. And I think that clicked when it was like, I'd rather do anything with you than pretend like
We live in an ice
helicopters.
castle,
I don't care about that.
Yeah.
And so it was like, let's just get in our PJs. Obviously, we couldn't do that because we were still on the show. But we knew that life would be normalized because of what our ideal was in life. So
what TV shows are y'all watching right now?
Well, Game of Thrones is about to be on Sunday.
Which we have not done. Aaron and I have not done Game of Thrones.
Well, I don't know your scale of
I know everyone has their I've heard it's got a little bit of raciness in it.
Very.
Is it language
I consider
or
some
violence
of it porn.
or boobies? Oh.
Well, some of it's like for real porn.
Okay.
But that's like mostly like first season. But the story, it's like what Sean and I watch it. I get really upset when it's like the sexy stuff. So all he does is turn his head, will ask me when it's done, and it's done, and then we get to watch the whole story together without me being upset. So it's perfect. But I'm fine about violence. But it's very violent. I love it though. The story is great. We just finished watching Fargo, which is good.
I started that. Is it based off the movie?
The first season was, and then
then there's more.
There's 3. Yeah, we just finished the 3rd season.
Have you seen the movie?
Yeah, of course.
I watched it on an airplane last summer. And when it first started, I literally thought it was a comedy.
Yeah, it's a dark comedy. Yeah.
It's like this, it's weird. And then, you know what? The plane landed and I haven't seen the last like 7 minutes of the movie. I know, isn't that awful?
I mean, that's just, I hate when that happens because you're like, well, now I have to go watch the whole movie. I think I did that and it was, Compton, straight out Compton. I'm like, dang it, I haven't seen the last of that. Yeah. But we have very eerily similar tastes in like home decor and movies and TV shows, besides the girly Real Housewives, which I have to watch, and like the E stuff. Sean and I have very similar tastes. So we like dramas. I love thrillers. I really am not a huge fan of comedies unless they're during the day. If it's night, I want something dark. Like that's just what I want. So, and I'm not a chick flick. Sean is way more of a chick flick than I am.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, he's like, sometimes I just see that like Something's Gotta Give is on, or like
I just want to watch it.
Or like You've Got Mail. I'm like, what is this? Like, this is so weird. He's a chick flick kind of guy.
Okay, Aaron and I just did this last weekend. We've never done this before. We didn't have any kids, and we went to 2 movies back to back.
That is
like we've never ever done that.
Is it not so fun?
And it was at the movie theater. It was at Violet Crown, which is in Austin. It's our favorite movie theater in Austin. It's like you have Alamo Drafthouse here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's like Alamo, but like stepped up.
Yeah.
So it's like nice seats. Yeah. So we went and we had lunch in between. We saw Baby Driver.
Yeah, we saw that too last week.
I liked it.
Yeah.
And then we saw.
It was entertaining for sure.
Yeah, it was entertaining. Lawburg-esque. I never can remember how to say it. It's with Nicole Kidman, Kirsten Dunst.
Oh, yes. It's with
Colin Firth. Yes.
No, not Colin Firth.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's the Australian whatever.
It was good.
Or Irish guy. Sorry, he's Irish.
It was good. And he played an Irish guy in the movie.
But yes, it was like the period piece.
Yeah.
I want to see that too because it looks real thrillery.
Well, okay, let me just tell you.
Is it not?
Because you've seen the trailers.
Yeah.
I don't like scary movies, and I was a little apprehensive. Like, I don't know, it seems thrillerish, and I'm not into thrillers because those make me nervous. It was not at all.
Really? Why did it do that?
I know.
Okay, now
we felt as though we were deceived by the trailer.
See, I don't like that. I don't like when that happens.
It wasn't bad. We just thought we got a different movie.
I don't know when they do that. Anyways.
I know.
But yes, that is Sean and my dream. Okay, on his birthday, pretty much every year, that's what we do. Just back to however long we can spend there. One time I got him. It's so fun. Like you just get to be like that's just Sean's and my favorite thing to do. We would choose that over going to a nice restaurant any day. But one year, the Hunger Games was like releasing their last one, and the movie theater that we go to had like a triple, so
you could see all the ones before it.
Oh my gosh.
See, that would be fun.
It was like started at 2.
Yeah.
And you leave at 11 p.m. and you make friends with all these people who are in the theater because you don't leave your seat like you always have. And there's only like 10 people in there. Because who can do that on a Thursday or whatever? Yeah. So we had, oh my gosh, you go to the food court, you get some food, you go back up, you go to,
sounds amazing.
I just want to do it again, but now we got a baby. And so it's just not as, but we can do back to back if Grandma watches them.
Lovey. Okay, I was going to ask.
It's not a
Lovey.
Sweet.
Lovey and what?
Papa J.
Papa J.
Love you, Papa J.
I love it. Love you, Papa J. Okay, before we go, I would be really, really wrong if I didn't ask you about your stationery company.
Oh, yes. Gosh, that's been a crazy work in progress.
Has this been a dream? I know you did design.
Yeah.
Like that's where your education and stuff. So has a stationery company been a dream, or did this kind of evolve over time?
It definitely evolved. I would be crazy to say that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I've never wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
I'm a creative. I like less responsibility than most people, especially those who start a business when they're pregnant.
Which is like not the best time in the world.
Stupidest, but I was like, whatever, I'll stay home with the baby. But I didn't know the hustle that it takes. It takes hustle. And Sean and I are very blessed to have opportunities to fund these kinds of things.
Uh-huh.
And so when I started it, I had a passion for design, for writing people notes, for having just that love be spread around in a funny way. So it initially was inspired by the fact that I brought notes to give to Sean on the show. And I always wrote them in a very funny way because I didn't want to be cliche. I'm not a cliche person. I didn't want to be like fluffy. I can't wait to have babies with you because I was not that kind of person. But the first note I gave him was like, I'm vegan, but I love the beef. And I was like, this totally conveys the exact message I want to get across. I dig you. I'm vegan, but you are beefy. And so like, I just loved that.
Right.
For just to give notes.
Like
and the
a
next
quirky little saying.
Yeah. And I was like, I dig you.
Uh-huh.
And I kept giving him notes
Are you still
throughout the
vegan?
season. No, I'm in Texas.
That's,
I'm not in Austin, Texas. I would.
Can I tell you that
be so
we
if I was
used to
in
be
Austin.
vegetarians, and then all of our friends, what do they do?
It definitely is that because I was on the show and I was vegan. So many people put me in that category, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I really still want to be, but it's really hard.
It's hard,
especially with a family and a husband that doesn't. I mean,
but you can get really good meat. Aaron and I always buy healthy, good meat.
I don't know about Sean Lowe does, but yeah. So I really loved to create captions with pictures, and it kind of came from that and putting together our save the dates and wedding invitations for
You
our
created
wedding.
all of them?
I didn't design
Mastermind
all
behind
of them, but I was definitely part of that creation and that design. But I just wanted to use my skills. Like, it just felt like I was sitting on a lot of potential and just using it to go to and do appearances. Like, it just felt wrong. And so I originally, when I moved here, I interviewed at like Neiman Marcus and Fossil because I wanted to create something. Whatever it was, I just wanted to be in it. And then I just realized, you know what? If I want to have a baby, it doesn't make sense to be in a cubicle job. I love cubicles. I don't know why, but I'm like, I love it. You go to work, you talk to friends.
You put your coffee.
You're motivated and you have like a place where you have to do work and then you leave and you do it the next day and you get to, I loved getting dressed for the next day. And
now you have a job at your house.
But it's chaos. You got to be self-motivated,
Exactly.
which is extremely hard. And
do you get dressed for work every day? Because I don't. I work at home.
No, what? No.
I know.
I'm not even dressed now. No, but it's been a huge challenge in the best way because I know that the potential that I saw in myself just as a designer has been not proven yet because I'm not a successful company yet, but I know that it has pushed me to try things that I never wanted to do and just, think differently. As hard as it is and how unnecessary it is monetarily, because I've been in the hole for a really long time, which is fine to me. But it's really cool to have relationships with people and to see your vision come to life and to figure out how other people can see that vision and to show the people that like the market. I mean, the marketing part is my favorite thing. Branding, trying to figure out your target audience, trying to get to them. How do you market to them? How do you talk to them? Do you just these plans? That's really my background is marketing, not design. I was a graphic designer somehow because someone always needs a graphic designer.
True.
So that's just naturally something that's very lucrative, but I never thought I'd be a designer. I thought that I would help. My original plan before the show was to get into the design things and then go to New York and be part of a fashion or like Real Simple magazine, trying to figure out like photography and where the layout is of the pages. Like that's just a really fun thing in my head. And obviously, my track had changed, which most people's career paths change. But mine was, I want to feel like I'm using what I have done for the past, 8 years before I met Sean. So
So where can people get your cards?
They can go on goloco.com, and it's Loco, like crazy.
But it's spelled like your last name.
Right. So it's Lowe Company.
I thought it was Lowe Company. Well,
No,
it is.
it's Loco. Well, Loco because it's crazy though. Like it's a very subtle, and that's kind of our cards. It really shows like, okay, it's a subtle wit. And that's kind of like, and so I was like, oh man, that's really cute. But a lot of people say Lowe and Co. And I'm just like, no, it's Loco like crazy.
Crazy
so
Loco.
I need to be better about that. But I say it's 80%, like it's Spanish for chic. No, it's Spanish for crazy and English for chic. I like to say that because it's like, okay, now I get it. But Loco is my,
and you have cards that you can plant?
It's seasonal. But yes, we have a collection. It's called Cards That Grow. They are growable, plantable cards, and they turn into wildflowers, which is really cool. But I only introduce those like the McRib. It's seasonally. It makes sense. I want people to get excited about it. It's a very, very popular product. And I wanted to start with it, but then there's this need and this, someone will put you in a box. Okay, now you're eco-friendly, and now everything that you don't do that's eco-friendly, you're going to be, in trouble for. Exactly. So I feel like, dang it, I want it to be part of me because it's definitely part of me. I'm a recycled
But it's not who you are, 100%.
No, of course not. I mean, where do I live?
Yeah.
If I'd be living in Guatemala, in some, trying to sustain my own life, but I don't.
That you made off the grid. Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, I'm still a normal modern girl, but I definitely pay homage to the earth, and because that's I'm called Gaia. My family calls me Gaia. That means Mother Earth. I've always been recycler. And
when's Earth Day? This is when we need to release these.
April 22nd. It's my third favorite holiday, and I was born a week late because my birthday's April 29th, and I get mad at my mom because I should have been born on Earth Day.
Okay, I have learned so many random things about you. The number 17, the number 9, Earth Day.
Earth Day, yeah.
Do you like McRibs?
No, I've never had it.
I've never had one either. But because you said I was wondering.
I'm just saying, like, people get crazy for that.
I know.
I don't know anything else that you could equate it to. I mean, obviously, I'm not on that scale yet, but I want people to get really excited. People still ask me where are Cards That Grow, and I'm like, missed out. I told you.
Hello.
If you want to
come back next April 22nd.
Exactly. Or like follow our email list. It's perfect for Mother's Day. It's perfect for the springtime.
I love that.
But I mean, we're in Texas right now, and who is planting right now? Unless it's like tomatoes.
Right. And we have no rain.
Exactly. So I'm saying you can't.
We need some rain in Austin. Okay, Catherine, this has been so much fun.
Same.
Thanks for sharing your whole story of The Bachelor with us.
You're welcome.
And I am so sorry that you had to watch the wedding dance.
Oh my gosh. So bad. I even know exactly her outfit, her hair. I know it. She is a beautiful girl.
Is she the one that just got married last weekend or something?
And it was just predestined for me not to like her because it was just like not the right timing. We would have been friends if it was any other time, but it couldn't be.
That is so difficult.
It's very hard. And I feel bad for her because I wasn't close with her for that reason. I'm sure now if I explain myself, I'm sorry I didn't like you. I mean, obviously.
I'm sorry that my husband you had more physical contact with him than I did.
I do feel bad, and she's not going to be she doesn't follow me or anything. But
I bet she does not listen to the happy hour either, so we're good.
I disinvited her to our wedding.
Oh, you did? Well, how do you disinvite someone?
Sean invited her and to be our wedding dance instructor. And I was like, dude, what is wrong with you?
She's a dude.
She is bringing me heartache. Why would she come to my wedding? It's my wedding. And so it was a big thing at the time because I was like, I'm sorry, not only you're not coming.
So how did you disinvite? Is that a new card?
No, I just didn't. No, Sean on his little media circuit. The list. No, she wasn't even on it.
Okay.
We hadn't even planned our wedding yet. This dude didn't want to start planning our wedding because I was a crazy, depressed, angry woman. Of course, he's like, no, let's not start planning. I was like, I don't know. I haven't dug the grave yet. So yeah, we weren't even talking about it. But of course, that's always the topic of conversation when you just get engaged. When's the wedding?
When's wedding?
Oh, well, Peta will be there and she'll be our dance. I'm like, I'm going to kill you. Yeah. And not only did we not have a dance instructor, this fool didn't even want to dance with me. I was like, I will pay you because obviously that's your motivator. You want to dance with a star. I'll pay you to dance with me. Of course, he did 2 spins and I'm like, man, I wanted something cute. But whatever.
And you know he
That
could do
would've
it
been
because he
weird, though.
learned.
Sometimes that's weird. Sometimes when it's like a serious, like choreographed dance and it's not, like when it's stoic, it's not as cute.
Yeah.
So we were just laughing the whole time, which was better.
Better anyways.
But still, I was like, man,
I
I'll
always-
pay you for
I always
that.
find first dance at weddings, they can sometimes be awkward because everyone's staring at you.
Well, my dad's was weirder. My
Why?
dad will probably listen to this too. He learned the waltz, okay? And he took lessons for a month.
Oh, that's sweet,
It's
right?
very sweet, but he didn't take them with me. So
Oh.
I didn't know the waltz. I didn't know the waltz. So when we got up there,
Did he tell
he
you?
expected me to know the waltz. And then got upset because I didn't know why he was dancing with me like that. Let's talk. No, he wanted to show everyone he knew the waltz.
But he didn't let you know ahead of time, hey, we're going to waltz.
Well, he said, I'm practicing the waltz. And I'm like, but I'm not. So, I mean, I didn't really connect the dots.
Yeah.
But he really wanted to do the waltz, but I was ruining his big moment.
His big
I'm
moment
like,
on your wedding day.
"What?" I know. I'm like, Dad, I just want to dance. I want to talk to you. Isn't this fun? I should have danced with my mom.
That's
honestly.
hilarious.
My mom and I would have done like some funny jig or something.
Did Sean and Lovey dance?
Oh, it was so sweet.
Milo and Lovey. I'm going to come up with all the names.
Lovey is one of my best friends. And I don't say that like just to be, she literally, I see her more than most people. Probably I see her more than I see anybody else besides like my personal trainer.
Yeah. Which you see every day.
Well, I mean, no, twice a week, but I'm very close to Cher Lowe because we get each other. It's like this really cool, like she is a Southern belle, but she's also a hardcore mom. Like hardcore as in she was like, oh, I know exactly all the places in the mall where I could take and spank my child. Like that. I'm like, yes,
I need to know.
Teach me now. And so like, of course she's fun grandma, but I want to know her tricks because I want to do that.
And she's raised 2 great kids.
Exactly. So I get to be with her and not only be her friend, but really take a lot of guidance from her about child rearing.
Yeah.
Like it's really a cool relationship. And she knows I love her so much and I love Jay. And I am so blessed to have this family away from my family because if they weren't here, I would have had a even harder time adjusting
For sure.
to Dallas.
You would have been even more alone.
Oh, yeah.
One time I was at the mall and I had 2 kids at the time and my oldest probably was 4, okay? And he did something. And so I took him into the bathroom. I said, I'm going to give you a spanking. So we leave the carousel. We go into the bathroom. It's a single bathroom, not like all the stalls.
Right,
it's a single bathroom, but there's people waiting outside.
Right.
And I'm like, you're going to get a spanking. You disobeyed. Now you're going to get a spanking. He starts screaming, Mommy, don't hit me. Mommy, don't hit me. And I'm like, you need to stop right now. I'm not hitting you. You're getting a spanking. Mommy, don't hit me. And I was,
oh my gosh.
people were outside the door.
Yeah.
And so he didn't get a spanking. So he won.
Gosh,
and then we had, we talked about it later, but he was so smart. Isn't that smart?
So smart.
I was like, you little turd. Oh my
But
gosh.
That would be good in any other situation.
Exactly.
But that.
Exactly. But then,
Like,
but he
call
did
for
not.
help later.
Yes.
But
he didn't get many spankings and he got out of that one.
that's a really funny story.
I know.
Like, that's a great story.
Yeah. But I was a little embarrassed.
Well,
And then,
of
but then I
course.
was like,
you're like, oh my gosh, I'm hitting
now you need
guys.
another spanking.
Yeah.
But you didn't really
And
do
they'll be
it. I
at
mean,
home.
you don't know what you're doing. You're 4. But
I know, exactly. I know. I won. I'm like, oh, you should not be doing that. And I'm like trying to discipline.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not going anywhere.
And then he's
Why
so
did I do
cute.
that?
And you're
I
like,
know,
oh,
I'm
you're one. You're one.
I know.
Okay, Catherine, thanks for coming on the happy hour.
Thanks for having me. Letting me go
Jen,
on my
thanks
rant.
for hosting us. Where's Samuel right now?
He's with our nanny, I guess. She's
Awesome.
there like 5 hours a week or
Perfect.
something like that.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
All right, guys. I love the show with Catherine today. So awesome. I also want to thank Revell for sponsoring today's podcast. Guys, do you want your child to have the option to get into the best colleges and universities, to master real life skills, to succeed in their future endeavors? Now's the time to actively engage with your child's education with Education a la carte. In this practical book, parenting expert and longtime educator Dr. Kevin Lehman takes the guesswork out of choosing the best schooling for your child. He explores the pros and cons of public, private, and charter schools, as well as homeschooling and online schooling. Visit revellbooks.com to learn more. Guys, I told you that you would love Catherine, and don't you love her even more now? I'm so thankful that I got to sit in person with her and chat with her, and she is as lovely in person as she is online. I loved hearing her story about her friend and her going to church and following Jesus, and her and Sean working through marriage, and the way that she loves her family and her family loves her. It was a fabulous show. Today's show was edited by Chris with Podshaper, and the music is from Jason Poe. Next week, my guest is, well, you guys, you're just going to have to wait because it's kind of up in the air. Don't you just love surprises? And speaking of next week, I promise, you don't want to miss out on the show because I have that huge announcement that I have building up that I have thought I could tell you every week. But they have guaranteed me that next week you will know. And I'm telling you, you want to know because it involves you plus me, maybe on a trip. Oh my gosh, I might have said too much. Hopefully they won't be mad. Okay, guys, there it is. Enjoy your week, share the show with a girlfriend, and have a happy hour with a friend. I'll see you guys next week with my guests. Who knows? You'll find out. See you then.